beautiful friends. It's Dr. Sherry. We are on day 2 of how to get traction in your life. And today we're coming at you from Gold's Gym. But we're not talking about exercise today. I'm just making sure I'm taking care of myself tonight, as well as helping take care of you guys and offering you some support, some self-development, something to help you move your life forward. So yesterday, if you watched my video, or better yet, if you didn't watch my video, go check it out. Yesterday, I talked about step 1 of how to get traction in your life. And step 1 is identifying all of the different roles that you have in life. Today, we're going to talk about the goals that fall under each of those roles. Because now that you've identified what parts of your life are you really wanting to focus on this year in your life, because they're important to you and they're part of the values that matter, so that when you are at the end of your life, you can look back and have no regrets. So today, and from yesterday, you would have listed out your different roles that were important to you on paper. That's super important, guys. I know a lot of people who make goals and all of these things and they just keep it up here. But there's a problem with that. There's actually a lot of problems with that. But the first one is that when you get it out of your head and onto paper, there is something about that that makes it more real. I mean, in some respects, it's literally tangible, isn't it? Because it's on a piece of paper. You've written it down. And research on kinetics, which is movement of your body, that when we move our body in connection with our thoughts, there becomes this symbiotic power that comes more than you would have it otherwise if you just think about it, or if you're just moving your body, if you put both together. So you've got to write this down. So think about, so pull out your roles, responsibilities that you have, that you want to focus on this year. I've identified 6, and you might have a few more. If you have more than 6, I would encourage you to see if you can pare it back. If you have less than 6, good job. It's just that the more that you have, the more thin you might feel yourself being spread. If you don't have a lot of support, you don't have an ability to delegate a lot of stuff. You don't have a team, or you don't have people that work for you. So today we are focusing on step 2, which is the goal setting. So what I want you to do with each of these roles, I want you to think through December 31st of this year. What do you want to say? Hey, I accomplished this. I did this. I was able to get this done. I'm super proud about it. Okay. So, as an example, yesterday I talked a little bit about one of my roles, or one of my domains for my life is my personal life. And part of that includes going on vacation and spending time as a family. So, part of my goals this year were to buy a camper. Why? Because we have owned a camper in the past. It's been about 1.5 or 2 years, and my kids love camping, and I love camping because it's an opportunity for me and my family to get away from the busyness of life, to get away from all the electronic distractions, and to become one with nature and with each other. So part of my goals is to buy a camper. Another goal is to go on vacation quarterly. And because my husband and I have come to realize that with the amount of energy and time that we spend growing all of these parts of our lives, it is so important for us to have downtime, fun time, relaxed time, again, time for us to come together as a family, whether it's camping or whether it's at the beach. So for us, it's having a quarterly family getaway, and maybe it's even a long weekend. That's totally fine. But it also gives us something to look forward to. So on those weeks where sometimes we start to feel a bit stressed out, maybe because we've got so many things we're trying to get done, on those weeks that maybe our energy dips a little bit down, we know that we've got a vacation to look forward to. And so that kind of helps break up our work efforts into chunks that get to be separated by trips. So, so that's an example of 2 ways in my personal life that I have set goals. And I've got some other goals as well. But I'm excited to share that just a couple weeks ago we bought our camper. Yay! So I'm so excited about that. So I got to check that off my list. And I have scheduled out 4 camping trips now. And we have 2 other trips scheduled. My husband and I have 2 other trips scheduled. So we're well on our way to having our quarterly vacation goal. And okay, so then I'll shift to, as an example, another domain of my life and goals. And guys, here's a tip on goals. Get as specific as you possibly can. Now, your specificity may be at a different level than the next guy's, and that's okay. And I see my husband is watching this right now. We're actually both at the gym. So, are you not exercising, babe? Come on. Okay, I'm just teasing you. But when you're setting your goals, you've got to get super specific. The more specific you can get, the easier it is to achieve your goal. It gives you a super refined target. So imagine that you're shooting a gun. If you have a specific target out in front of you, doesn't that give you more thrill and excitement and motivation to really scope it up well and to hit the target versus, just shoot somewhere in front of you? I don't know. To me, that doesn't seem as exciting. It doesn't seem as energizing as trying to hit a very precise goal. So, as an example, I talked a little bit about our personal goals. So, as an example, in the business realm, for me, I will take my role as a real estate investor. And so 2 of my goals that I did I've written down for real estate investing, one was to launch an REI. JP says, share your goals so you have something to be accountable. Yes, I'm getting to that. You're beating me to the punch, babe. So where was I at? Yes, real estate investing. So one of my goals this year was to launch the Cheyenne Real Estate Investing Association, the REIA. And I'm excited to say that I was able to accomplish that in February. And but that was a very specific goal. And of course now the goal is to keep it going and to provide value and to grow it and stuff like that. But I had all that written down. Because it was written down, it kept me accountable. And I'll be talking through over the next 3 days of how writing this stuff down leads to greater accountability and leads to an improved follow-through. But one other goal that I have as a real estate agent, not as a real estate agent, although that is one of my roles, as a real estate investor, is increasing the number of real estate investments that we actually have. And so my goal, without even telling my husband, this is really what I just kind of arbitrarily said. I was like, you know what? It would be awesome this year. Let's double the number of units we have, right? Because doubling it sounds amazing. I mean, we've kind of been on a slow pace, and it's taken about 13 years of about 1 or so property a year to where we've got right now. And so let's double that. Let's double down with the number of units that we have. And so, are we going to meet that? I don't know, but it's kind of exciting. Right now, we're actually working on four properties as we speak, and that's pretty exciting, which is about a 400% increase than anything we've done in the past, because typically we would look at 1, if even, in a year, because we had our eyes focused on so many other things that this was not a major focus we had. So what I want you to take away from these examples, is find the things that matter to you in each of those major roles and responsibilities that you already outlined yesterday and get specific. Come up with at least 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 different goals that you have for this year. Get as specific as you can and write them down. And then, as my husband mentioned a little bit earlier in the chat, is share your goals with somebody that matters to you. Okay? Because when you share them with somebody that matters to you, an interesting thing happens. You want to make them happy. You want to prove to them that you have integrity. Right? Do you say that you're going to do something and not follow through on that? I hope you don't. I mean, we all do at some point because none of us is perfect. But when you share your goals with somebody, we have this little part in our brain, I would say 99% of us do, where when we tell somebody we're going to do something, we don't want to let them down. We don't want to violate the integrity of doing what we say we're going to do. And in fact, social research has shown, this is super fascinating. And so, you know what? I'm all about taking research and putting it to my advantage. Like, how am I hardwired to be? And then do that to set myself up for success. And so social research has shown over and over again that as humans, we tend to be more motivated to get successes for other people than we do for ourselves. Is that crazy? I mean, I'm a mom, and I know there's a lot of moms out there as well, and I'll bet you recognize you would walk over fire for your family, right? You would do anything for them. But would you do anything for yourself? That's a hard question. That's a hard question. I talk with a lot of moms, and a lot of times, unfortunately, the answer is, you know what, I don't think I would do as much for myself as I would for the people around me. Now, 2 things with that, right? First is that's not super healthy, okay? God designed you for love. And what you're saying is you're loving everyone else around you, but not yourself. So I guess firstly I'd say, you know, see that as an opportunity to learn to love yourself more. But to the point of this conversation, the second thing is, girl or boy, just use this to your advantage. Know that when you commit to doing something with somebody or for somebody, you will have a greater motivation. So when you recognize that by meeting these goals you have, it's going to hugely benefit your spouse or your kids or your parents or your siblings or your friends or your coworkers or your church family or another nonprofit organization that you're part of, or whatever, or your business, your people that you employ or that employ you, the list goes on. But when you recognize that your goals will feed into their success and will benefit them in some way, it increases your motivation to actually meet and exceed your goals. So today, if you can't do it right now because you're driving or because you're at the gym next to me on the treadmill and you don't have paper and pen handy, sometime tonight, I want you to pull out that list of goals that you developed, and I want you to start writing down your goals for this year. As many as you need to, as clear and as explicit as you can, and then share them with somebody. Tomorrow, we're going to take down the next step. So, 2 steps already, 3 more to go. I'm so excited to get through this. And guys, I would love to hear what some of your goals are and what some of your goals are. So go ahead and put them in the chat below. And I would love to celebrate and get excited with you about the huge, huge goals that you have in your life. So, as I finish up my exercise, I hope you have a fantastic night. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is Dr. Sherry, your high performance coach and psychologist. and we'll see you in the next one.